Hi friends, this is Deep Basu and welcome to my channel Think Deep. I'm back once again and I'm going to review Ajeeb Daastaans. It released yesterday. It's an anthology basically and it released yesterday on Netflix. And this anthology has been produced by Dharmatics. In case you guys don't know, Dharmatics is a division of Dharma Production and it's going to deal with all the Netflix releases. So any content coming from Dharma Production will be produced by Dharmatics. So, and this is the first outing of Dharmatics. So, congratulations and Dharma Production, many more to come. And I think Karan Johar was part of two more anthologies in the past, which was Lust Stories and Ghost Stories. Definitely it was produced by someone else. So, this is the first outing of Dharma Production, basically one of the tie-ups with Netflix. So, congratulations. So, coming back to Ajeeb Daastaans, the reason I was very intrigued, not because the trailer was very well cut. I'm sure all of you have watched the trailer. This anthology has four different intriguing stories, and these four stories have contrasting relationships, unexplored spaces. It has fractured relationships, prejudice. It highlights various aspects. It also highlights caste divisions in a very interesting way. And it's been directed by four different talented filmmakers. So I was very intrigued to watch it. So finally it released yesterday and I couldn't wait. I watched it. I'm a little late on reviewing Ajeeb Daastaans because I was very tied up today morning. So finally I got some free time and I'm reviewing the anthology. So very short and precisely I'll get on with the four stories. The first story is, the name of the first story is Majnu, which has been directed by Mr. Shashank Khaitan. Director Shashank Khaitan, if you have followed his work, he's a director of Humpty Sharma Ki Dulhania and all other Humpty Sharma films in the Humpty Sharma series. He's quite a successful director, so he directs the first short film called Majnu. Majnu has great actors like Jaideep Alawat, Sana Fatima Sheikh. Basically, Majnu talks about the story basically is about a very strong political leader. He's compelled to get married to the daughter of another political leader because that leader is funding his campaign. So the movie begins after their marriage. It's a loveless marriage. So Jaideep Alawat, the character, tells his wife that he's he's not going to love her and it's going to be a loveless marriage. So that's one reason Fatima Sheikh, the character, becomes very frustrated because she can't take this loveless marriage. She wants to basically lead a happy life, wants to get married to a person who really loves her. So she openly flirts with all the men in that community and basically everyone is very scared of the character Jaideep Alawat. But he's the very powerful and a very strong political leader. So one fine day, Jaideep's driver, his son, comes back from the US and he looks very modern, stylish, and instantly Fatima gets attracted to him and there is an affair and they start having an affair secretly behind Jaideep's back. So now what happens? As you know, all the stories there's some Ajeeb ending. So you need to wait and watch what really happens towards the end. And it's going to be a revelation. It's going to be something Ajeeb. So this is basically a premise of Ajeeb Daastaan, the story one, Majnu. Stories two, the name of the story, the second story is Khilona. It's been directed by Mr. Raj Mehta. Raj Mehta previously directed Good News. I'm sure all of you watched it. It was a very big film. His second film is going to be Jag Jag Jio, produced by Karan Johar. So the second story, Khilona, it also has stellar performances. It has Abhishek Banerjee, it has Nusrat Bharucha. My God, she's amazing. So basically it's a story about a domestic help and she is in a relationship with this Istri Wala played by Abhishek Banerjee, and domestic help as a young sister. And all three of them are basically, they want to seek redemption. They're sick and tired of their mundane, garib life. And basically domestic help, and she's a very pretty looking domestic help who is basically gets very prone to exploitation. Every man wants to exploit her, every family wants to exploit her. So basically what really happens, will these three people seek redemption? And why the name is Khilona, you need to find out. It has a very strange ending. and a very weird ending. You need to watch to find out. And the story basically goes back and forth. So the story begins where this Nusrat Bharucha and Abhishek Banerjee is getting thrashed by the police. Why they are getting thrashed? What are they hiding? You need to watch to find out. The third story is Gili Puchi. I think, well, I'll come to my final review. Gili Puchi is directed by the very talented Neeraj Khaiwan. The gentleman who directed Masan, he's a very talented guy. And Gili Puchi basically revolves around two contrasting souls, Konkona Sen Sharma and the very beautiful Aditi Rao Hydri. Konkona plays a Dalit girl who is a lesbian, and she works as a laborer in a factory. She's talented, but because of her Dalit caste, she's not able to rise up. Aditi Rao Hydri is a new entry to the entire factory. She also works. She has the same degree, but because she's the upper class, she belongs to the upper class. She gets the scope to rise in the factory. So definitely there is friction between them, but eventually they become friends. In one point they become slightly intimate. That's very well shown, and it's not very clear if Aditi's character is also gay. So what happens towards the end is quite heartbreaking but very smart. It has a very smart ending. I love Konkuna's expression. Bharti, she plays the character Bharti. So Gili Puchi is a very interesting story. It's an interesting short story directed by Neeraj Khaiwan. You need to watch it to find out more. The last story is Ankai, directed by Baman Irani's son Kayuz Irani. I'm sure you guys have watched Kayuzi as an actor in Student of the Year Part 1. He is not only an amazing actor but also a good director. I loved Kayuski's first directorial debut. It's called Ankai. It's a very interesting, very romantic, very touching story about, it has, okay, let me tell you, it has Shefali Shah. And Shefali Shah is married to the character Tota Roy Chaudhary. Shefali Shah's daughter is losing her hearing aid. She's losing the ability to hear. Shefali Shah's only daughter, and she's trying her best to convince her husband to talk and communicate, learn sign language, so he can always be, in touch with her daughter, because her daughter is losing the hearing aid. She's losing her ability to hear. But the husband refuses to learn sign language. He always says, he has a busy life, and that's one reason that their marriage is on the rocks. Now Shefali Shah, she meets Manav Kaul in an exhibition, who happens to be deaf, and how a very sweet romantic love story begins to blossom between them. So one is deaf, and Shefali Shah is not deaf, but she knows the sign language. So when the romantic relationship between them is quite very sweet, very cute, and very naturally, very organically blossoms. But ending is quite heartbreaking and very nice, and the performances are quite good, quite convincing. And Manav Kaul was so amazing. You should cast him for a romantic character. He's so amazing. He's so charming. He's so versatile. And Shefali Shah, I'm telling you, is definitely, she's a versatile, a very senior actor. So these are the 4 stories in a nutshell, directed by four different directors, 4 talented directors. So if you ask me, my 2 best stories were Gili Puchi. Gili Puchi is, I'm ranking Gili Puchi directed by Neeraj Khaiwan number 1. Number 2, I'm ranking Kayusgi's story, Ankai. Number 3rd is Khilona, and number 4th is Shashank Khaitan's story, Majnu. Majnu, frankly speaking, I didn't quite understand. I didn't quite like the story. I didn't quite like the ending. I didn't find it quite natural, and I was not very convinced. Khilona was good. Nusrat Bharucha's performance, though coming back to the story, Jaideep Ahlawat and Sana Fatima were okay. I wouldn't say Jaideep has provided something new, but both of them were convincing, but okay. Coming back to Khilona, Nusrat Bharucha and Abhishek Banerjee are superb. Nusrat Bharucha is, by the way, the USP of the short film, but somewhat the ending, I was not very convinced by the ending. Ending was something very, I wouldn't say scary, I won't diverge much, but ending I was not very convinced, though it's very well directed and definitely will keep you hooked. The 3rd story and the 4th story are my favorite. Gili Puchi, directed by Neeraj Khaiwan, is the best story. I love Konkuna's performance, I love her acting, and I think her expression, or her character is something I took back home, and something very memorable. I love the character and the way she has portrayed the gay Dalit woman. Amazing. The fourth story, Ankai, is also very good, and but the story somewhat will resonate with various other films you have watched before about heartbreaking marriage, about the other man, the extramarital affair, the ending. So the story I would not say is very unique, though the deaf and the deaf, the something which the directors incorporated, the writer is something new. But overall, the story I didn't find it very unique. But Gili Pucci is one story I found it very unique and very different. So, according to me, Gili Pucci by Neeraj Gaiwan is the first. Second is Kayusgi's story, Ankai. Third is Khilona, Nusrat Bharucha, and fourth is Sorry, Shashank Khaitan's story. And overall, my review for Ajeeb Dastan is it's a good effort. It's intriguing, but as an audience, I was expecting better. The revelation somewhat was not very impactful. Apart from the third story, the revelation, the Ajeebness could have been more. After watching the story, I was saying, "Acha, ye tha Ajeeb. Acha, that was the revelation." So, as an audience, my complete review is that the Ajeeb, the quotient Ajeeb could have been little more Ajeeb. The revelation could have been little more Ajeeb, because as you are promoting it, Ajeeb Daastaans. But overall, it's a good watch. You can watch it. It's intriguing. It has great performances, and definitely it has its highs and lows. There's some mediocrity also. There's some quality work also. A mixture of everything. So guys, watch Ajeeb Daastaans. If you have not watched, it's on Netflix. And let me know if I missed out on anything. I love the background score by Alokananda Rajgupta. She is the same music composer who designed the background score for Sacred Games and various other interesting web series. So background score was good. The playback sounds were good and everything. So the packaging is overall very well done. The opening credits also very well done. So overall, Ajeeb Daastan is a decent watch. Go for it if you have not. It's on Netflix this weekend. So I hope, and by the way, I hope the lockdown, you guys are staying safe. Please stay home. This coronavirus is getting very fatal these days. So guys, happy weekend, a happy Saturday, happy Sunday. Please watch Ajeeb Daastaans if you have watched. So I'm going to sign off. I'll be back soon with a new film, new release.